Welcome back to the Business of Becoming. Today is a very special episode as you guys are on the road with me. So you guys are my roadies today. I'm going to share with you guys 3 things that traveling has taught me in business and how it also pertains to motherhood. So we're going to get straight into it. First thing that traveling has taught me in business and has taught me a principle that it's taught me for business and as a mom is that purpose over presence guilt. And that sounds so ChatGPT, but it really genuinely is the truth. Like, there's so much purpose in what you're doing, and if you don't remind yourself of that while you're doing it, then you're not going to be present. And when you're not present, you're just walking around with this like false presence, then you're just guilty. The best way that I can explain that is that as I'm doing what I do, which is I go back and I help people build back stronger homes, build back stronger communities when they come into a natural disaster. There's a lot of times that me as a mom, I'm missing out on really important moments. I'm missing out on my bedtime routine with my kids. But when I remind myself that I'm helping a mom be able to get back to her life and get back to having her, do her bedtime routine with her kids, that reminds me that there's so much purpose into what I do. And that allows me to feel good of what I'm doing, even though I'm away, but it still allows me to feel at home and at peace, knowing that I don't have to worry about presence guilt because I'm doing something that still does make me feel good, and I find purpose in that. Second thing is that culture travels with you. So if you are a leader, if you are a boss, if you're a parent, like I see this all the time. I travel all the time, and I'm at airports literally like 3 times a month. Well, make that 6 because you're going one way and then one way out. So yeah, I'm at airports all the time. And sometimes I see parents just like throw their kids through a TSA line, and I get it. Like, I totally get it. And that's, again, just like the culture that you're bringing into your family. Like, I say that with a joke because we all get stressed out, and it's normal. But when you're leading your team and you're bringing them with you guys, if you guys are doing blitz trips or if you're, you travel for work, and people see that you're an angry person, like traveling, and like you don't bring the same culture of unity or strength and whatever the culture is in your company, you don't take that with you and you can't share that in a high intensity stress level situation that traveling does, then it's really hard for you to continue having influence over your people. Like, the best way I can explain it is, as parents, when you go and take your kids on vacation and then that vacation is just like stressed out the entire time and you just hate life, and we've all been there. I've had so many Disney vacations that I can remember where I was just like, this freaking sucks, But if you remind yourself that you are the culture of your family or you are the culture of your business, then it kind of forces you to check in with yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to ruin this trip, or I'm not going to take the culture of what I've worked so hard to build to just be taken away because the TSA line is too long, or to be taken away because the flight's delayed. Like, being able to find good things or I don't know, like being able to find those moments and those pockets of moments that you don't have to be super overwhelmed and stressed out. And I see it when I see parents playing with their kids in the airport and they're making good out of a bad situation. And that's your job as a leader, is making good out of a bad situation, is making sure that the company culture is healthy, whether it's inside the building or it's outside the building. So delays, flight cancellations, rental car interruptions, I've been through it all. I've been through Airbnbs looking beautiful, and then we get there and it just doesn't feel safe, or it's really dirty or something like that. And it's trying to make... As a mom, again, as a parent, you got to keep the culture of your family. I know that it sucks sometimes traveling with toddlers or with kids, and you're just trying to toss them over the TSA line because you're going to get late to the flight. But just remember to make those situations and those moments memorable for them, because even though it's a vacation or maybe it's not, like, you got to make sure that the culture of your family is healthy. And just remember that it starts with you as a parent. Like, you're the one that is bringing this culture to them. So if it's a sucky situation, make light of it and just remember to lead that part of your life also with integrity and something that you want your kids to be able to follow. Third thing that I've learned about traveling is that structure gives space for peace and for being able to be present. If I'm not setting up my team or setting up my kids, or Maybe I'm just a type A personality that I have to set up like what they're eating for lunch, what they're having for breakfast and dinner, the days that I'm gone. I am chaotic. I am not myself. I'm not able to be like honed into the moment that I am supposed to be leading others when I'm in a different state. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but if you're heading out on a business trip and you're leaving some of your staff behind and you don't know what they're supposed to be doing, or they don't have a function of what they're supposed to be doing, you get stressed out. And that's happened to me multiple times before. And I think that if you set yourself up the right way, if you set up and make sure that your team is knowing what they're supposed to be doing while you're out, you don't have to stress out about not micromanaging. And you can actually be very present in what you're supposed to be doing and why you're supposed to be where you're at, whether it's a conference, whether it's you're working in another state like me, where I have to go, on different routes or meet different people or whatever the case is. I feel like it gives you so much space to be present and to be at peace, knowing that everything back home is being handled and taken care of to its capacity that it can, because you can't really control every single thing. And I think the best thing that I can also say about that is that it allows you to remind yourself that your purpose is important and that you're anchored in your purpose, and you're not just going to be like washed away with whatever crappy situation that happens. If you do what you have to do, set up what you have to set up, it gives you the chance to try and be as present as you possibly can. To wrap it up, the best thing that I can say is that, the most important thing that I've learned in traveling is that even if it's leading people or being a businesswoman or businessman and being a mom and being away, they both require a whole other level of trust that you won't experience until you're there. You got to trust people taking care of your kids. You got to trust that your staff is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And you got to just trust that God is going to be able to try and take care of it as best as he possibly can, because you can only do so much. And you can only spread yourself out as thin as possible before you're just like, I cannot do this alone. I've had many mental breakdowns. I've had many moments where I've cried myself in an airplane. And it's not because I'm sad and depressed and life is terrible. It's because you do fight with mom guilt. You do fight with, are people doing what they're supposed to do? And I promise you, eventually you'll overcome it, because when, again, you go back into reminding yourself that you are doing everything that you can possibly do at this moment, and you're doing what you know you're supposed to do, convicted of doing, you've got purpose, and it's going to be okay. So it's going to be great. And I'm extremely proud of you if you're traveling and you're a single parent. Kudos to you, and kudos for putting food on your table, whether you're a man or a female. And even if you're traveling and you're not a single parent, but you have to do that to put food on your table, that is purpose. That is important. Kudos to you for real, because it takes a lot to leave home and leave your comfort to do something that you know is going to better you and your family. So that's all I got here, folks, because people are starting to look at me weird. And I really do hope that you guys enjoy this. If you guys want to see more of these, like behind the scenes or just in the moment. Sorry, I just saw some random dude pull up next to Nick. I was like, did he make a friend? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, breakout random session. And if you guys want to see some more of those, behind the scene content or Airbnb edition or hotel editions, just let me know in the comments. All right. So thanks for being with me, and I'll see you guys next week on the Orange Chair.